Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coding CADventure. I'm Tiffany. Today we're going to explore drawing, at least starting drawing automation. I know sometimes drawing automation can be very daunting, kind of starting out from scratch and going through a lot of different steps to get you a finished drawing. Today we're going to emphasize or put our emphasis on creating a drawing, and it's just going to be a template. It's going to be a blank drawing, but that's kind of the first step in the process is creating a drawing the from a template and saving it locally. So I have a assembly that I've created. If you're interested in creating this assembly, I'll link a few links in the video description, and you can follow along on a webinar that I did and a Autodesk blog that I created for this subassembly. So if you're interested in that, just see the video description, and I will link those in that description. So today, we're going to use this assembly and we're just going to create a blank drawing from it. So the first thing that we need to do is we just need to create a routine. So we'll do sub create drawing. And because we are going to create a drawing off of this assembly, we need to capture that current drawing or that current assembly that is open. So the active assembly. If you are not using the active document, you can do it a different way with like feeding it a path. But this time for this purpose, we are going to create it using the active document. So we need to just do odoc, dim odoc as document, set odoc as equals to this application dot active document. Because we don't know what that active document could be, it could be another drawing, it could be a part. In this case, I need it to be an assembly, so we need to check for that. So we'll do a check a little bit further down and just say if not type of doc is assembly document, then exit sub. So that's just going to be a little bit of shorthand to where like once it gets to there, if it's not the document type we need, we're just going to get out of there. A lot of times you'll be feeding that information into the sub. So a lot of times you'll do that validation outside of the sub to make sure that it's the right kind. But sometimes I like to put that validation in the routine because it kind of validates whatever we're doing before we move forward. Kind of double validation, but that's not always needed. We'll do another dim, assembly doc as assembly document. And then since we did that validation, we can just say set assembly doc equals odoc. And the reason why we do that is because a lot of times sometimes you're going to bring in a document and we're not going to know what kind it is. You want to not have the subroutine error because it's not a specific type of document. So that's why we use that generic document. And once you get past the validation, then you can set it to the specific object that you're looking for, in this case, an assembly document. So we are going to need a couple more. Yeah, so we need another object. So we'll do dim draw doc as drawing document. And then we need a template path string equals. So in this case, we are going to need to use a template path to feed in what template we're going to use. So in this case, my template path is, it's in the GitHub. So you'll be able to see that once I publish the GitHub. There we go. So it's just in the GitHub, and then you have templates, and then our template's going to be standard.dwg. In your case, you may not use DWGs, you may use other formats. This is just what we're using today. So to create the drawing document, we need to set a draw doc equals this application dot documents dot add. So excuse me, for this case, we have template file. The first instance is the document type we're going to have, and that's just going to be a drawing object. So K drawing object, and then we need to feed it in the template path that we created. So we have that, and then the next one is creating whether we want to show it visually or not. If you're doing full automation, this usually is false. So you don't want to show any of it. You may like have a some sort of status bar that shows the user, you know, what's happening, but maybe you're not showing the drawings getting created. I recommend you do show the drawings being created when you're working through the process of figuring out drawing automation, because you can actually step through and see the actual process happening, and you're not wondering what's happening. So it's good to use that. It is default to true, so we don't have to set that. But I'll go ahead and set it so you can figure out what that means. And then we want to save as. So we want to call draw doc dot save as, and you want to do the two because you want to the two typically doesn't include or includes like error handling. You'll notice that in a lot of other API calls or methods that they have is typically the two handles errors better. So that's typically what I use. And because we wanted to capture the assembly document, you can actually use the assembly document as the document name. Typically, that's what happens. You want to create a drawing off a part or an assembly. Your drawing may, most of the time, what I've seen is the drawing has the same file name as the assembly. So I'm going to do full file name, but we don't want to have it be like IAM.dwg. So we want to do a replace, and you'll do replace find string dot IAM and then dot .dwg. This is just replacing the IAM with DWG in the file name. And then you want to do save copy as false. We want to just save as in this case. All right, so let's work through it. And we'll go ahead and push play. And now you have a blank drawing with the drawing name as the same name as the assembly name. And that is what we're going to look at today. So like I mentioned when we started, I will make sure and put those two links in the video description. My hope is for this to kind of build on for drawing automation. So we have like little videos of, you know, what you do first and second and third when you're talking about full drawing automation. I hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoy the rest of your day. Talk soon.